So I'm gonna go over the trade that I took in the morning session, especially New York session. I took four trades. First trade was selling. The first trade worked really well. I captured pretty much 1:1 1.8 hour, and following trades are not that great. I'm gonna go over the trade today. Uh, like the price sweep the weekly high. This is going to be the weekly high. Price just sweep the weekly high. When I was in the market, especially in the morning time at 6 o'clock, it sweep weekly high has been swept, and yesterday's like the Thursday low has been swept. Price rebalanced to some sort of travel gap. So I was like, I was not that confident since it sweep this high. I don't know where it's going to expand, and the price also sweeping the yesterday low, and I was like, where it's gonna go, I'm not sure. So I coming back to 4 hours, and I don't have anything underlyingly to mention here. It's just a sweep, big displacement to the downside. Nothing else for me to talk about here. And in 1 hour, here I do have something to talk. So this is going to be the yesterday's low. If I can, it's okay, fine. It's not that messy. So this is going to be the weekly high has been sweep, big displacement to the downside, sort of come all the way down, take this yesterday's low. This is going to be the yesterday low. Yesterday low has been swept. There is no displacement price. Once the price uh, tap this H1 bullish fair value gap, start to reverse its direction. It's kind of pulling back towards the inefficiency which formed inside this swing. This is the only fair value gap inside the whole swing. This is the current swing. Once the price sweep yesterday's low and tap this 1 hour fair value gap, start to expand higher towards this inefficiency. So inside this inefficiency, I can look for some sort of sell model to target this low. So that was my whole plan, and my uh, kind of plan to trade today. That was my plan in the morning. Initially, once it sweep the daily low, tap this fair value gap, I was not sure once if it flip its direction, I don't know where it's gonna go. So inside this range, I can be bearish, but once it flipped, I need to change my direction. That was my whole game plan in the morning. So in 15, I don't have much to talk. I don't have much to explain here since it doesn't give as much content for me. So in 5 minutes, I might give something valuable here. So it's kind of once the price tap the H1 bullish fair value gap, once the price tap the H1 bullish fair value, start to expand higher towards the H1 inefficiency, H1 sellers fair value gap. So I clearly marked out this liquidity. So once the price clears out this liquidity, I can look for some sort of sell model towards this low. That was my whole game plan in the morning. So I like to see this fair value gap to sweep like this swing high to this, not swing, it's gonna be the liquidity. You can call it as a swing high. I like to see it's getting swept and getting structure shift and expecting some lower prices. That was my whole plan in the morning. But unfortunately, what I did in the morning, not unfortunately, it's a fortunate thing. So this is the huge news scandal. Price just sweep this internal, fail to take out this high. It start to expand downside, and exactly at this point it was like it's sweep, it gives some structure shift, but it's low resistance liquidity run, and that's kind of when I was in the market in the live session, it's clear dump to the downside, clears out this low, sweep this low, internal inside the H1 bullish fair value gap, and it's also sweep the high. It is also sweep this liquidity and sweep this liquidity. So I'm not sure where the market is going to go. I'm completely blank now. So not now, that time I was completely blank. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. But fortunately, I understand one thing clearly. In 3 minutes, there is a big inefficiency here, and price inside this range, price engineered the liquidity swept close below. Once I saw this thing, once inside the it is a news candle, right? So once inside the news candle, price come all the way down, start to replace to this family only imbalance, right? Replace to this in 3 minutes imbalance. Nearing the liquidity, sweep close below. Once I saw this, I move on to the 1 minute time frame. So 1 minute in 1 minute time frame, I get a clear ideology. What happened here? Price just go all the way up to towards this fair value gap, engineering the liquidity like it's sweep. There is no structure shift. There is no fair value gap flip. Go all the way up, manipulating this high. Now start to displace lower, big displacement, and also give the structure shift. I execute my limit orders here. I put my limit order here. Generally talk, this should be my limit order, and this should be my the 50% of the position should be my position. But unfortunately, I was a bit afraid, scared, like whether I'm not gonna fill it, whether it's not gonna fill my position or not. So this is where I set my limit order, and once the price start to reject here, I execute my big position. Like here, I execute today almost one lot, one standard lot. Here I put 0.225, and here it's 0.7. Please go all the way up, fill the fabric up completely. Just please go all the way, stop here, go and sweep the recent candle. Sweep the recent candle, fill the fabric up completely. Start to reverse its direction. So once the price start to reverse its direction, I move my stop loss from this point to this point. That's not something good. If I move my stop loss once the price displays through the swing low, you leave this fair value gap. So after this thing, I can move my stop confidently. But once the price start to move like this, I move my stop loss to this point since I put big lot. That's not kind of something I can do. So this is a clear sell model. It's inside the parallel gap sweep structure shift. So if I put my stop entry, if I set my entry here, put the stop at the high, it should be, that's it. I shouldn't be doing anything here, but I am not followed it. I due to fear of losing money, I moved my stop loss to this point. That's the worst thing I can ever do, because most of the time it's sweep this, fail to take this out, and start to expand lower. But today it's just structure shift and big flush to the downside. Big flush to the downside. I caught the move correctly. I scale my position once the price reached this point. I scale my first position. Once the price reached this point, I scale my whole positions. I do and I see. I saw that price take this low. So once the price take this low, I I what happened here is um I clearly cut the move. I take something off from the table here and close whole position. I plan to leave the position towards this point since I get the last manipulation to the structure shift. My position shows here, so I plan to leave it on the table, but unfortunately I closed it. I was not feeling good. I just closed it. Once I closed it, it started reverse its direction. Why it's reverse its direction? It's a good push to the downside, and the price sweep the sell side. But I'm not aware about that at that moment. That's the major thing, important thing. Price sweep. So inside this range, I was super bearish. I plan to add some position like inside this, like once it sweep structure shift, I can add some position. Like I was a bit um bearish inside this range, but actually it's flip its direction. So if I just hold the position, most probably I'm going to get stopped out here or whatever. Even I keep my stop at this point, even I trust my one sorry standard deviation, it's going to take me out. So for this whole move, this is going to be the liquidity. Once the liquidity has been swept, the region parallel up in M5, I can show that. So once the liquidity has been swept, the recent parallel gap flipped here. The recent parallel gap clearly flipped, and not only flipped but also create the bullish parallel gap. That bullish parallel continuously holding the price, pushing higher all the way towards the side. So if I holding the position, now felt it close. Like whatever I did today, it's going to be cost me lost something if I hold the trade. If I'm not take anything off the table. Reason why it's get reverse, it's the liquidity, clear liquidity, sell side liquidity. Once it's swept, big displacement, it start holding, it start flipping. The obvious wrong indicator with this. So fortunately, I closed my positions, but before noticed this kind of things, I closed due to fear. And one more thing, I actually pretty close to 1:2, so I was not in the position. I closed the whole positions, but once I closed my position, it started reverse its direction, stopped me out. And once I identified the once I identified this, like inside this, it's getting flipped. It's created. It's leave this family up. It's kind of tap sweep structure with big displacement. I was like, okay, fine, I can expect some higher prices. So I what I did is, so I so I was like, I considered it as a structure shift sweep inside this family gap inside this inverse. So I execute some limit orders here. Expect some higher prices towards this range. The news candle highs, or else than an hour earlier. But it's literally flipped its direction towards downside. But it's kind of sideways. After this move, it's after this move, it's kind of completely sideways. So in 1 hour, 1 minute, I was like, it's I consider it as a speed structure big displacement. It's the engineer liquidity. So I put my first limit order here, and I manually, and once the price reject here, I manually entered my second position here. So I'm willing to see price hold inside this range. I don't like to see any price close below the 3 minutes family. This is 3 minutes family, but unfortunately, it start to flip its direction, and then even in M3, it's flipped its direction. So I closed my positions before it's of course my stop. So these two things are the tiny losers, and once it's hit my stop, where this is where I kept my stop. Once it hit my stop, it started to displace. So inside this valley gap, it started to react. I re-entered here, and it's kind of build up sweep. I once I identified this sweep, I closed my position in break even. So kind of the last three entries is not solid. The first entry is good. It has a lot of things, sweep, structure shift, rebalance to this point. So first entry should be here. Second entry is supposed to be here, but I due to fear I just entered manually here. To good. It's lose its direction, and this is where I started messed up. If I just wait for some sort of reaction here, this is the family apps, right? So if I just wait for some sort of reaction, I might not enter any positions, but I just dumped it. I'm not look for wait for any kind of reaction. I just set my limit orders. I hope it's going to react since it's sweep and give the structure shift and flip the direction. So I like to see some higher prices, but it didn't work. It's kind of consolidated for the whole day, and this entry, this is as up to this point, I execute my plan positions, and this is purely the impulsive entry. Once the price gives some reaction inside this range, and I identify it's start to get rejected, I execute this position. It's a pure impulsive entry. Even though I don't have any plan, I just entered it. That's it.